The information I'm going to share with you in this video will make you a millionaire in 12 months. And after 17 years, 25 different businesses, 5 of them hitting 7 figures, 3 of them hitting 8 figures, I've cracked the exact roadmap to go from $0 to $1 million really fast. So today, for the first time, I'm going to share it for you, a copy on how to build your own $1 million business. So let's get into it. But first, if you don't understand this one thing, you're always going to struggle to earn money. Every single dollar that's ever made came from solving a problem. But this is what no one tells you. Some problems actually pay way more than others, because money is just an exchange when value is created, and value is created when a pain is alleviated, and that pain is alleviated when you actually solve a problem. But let me explain. When I first started in business, I had an agency that was doing this direct marketing for business coaches. It was a cold calling center. I would cold call business owners and set appointments for a consultant to actually come into their business and would help them, and I would get charged, or I would pay per appointment that I actually booked. But the reality was I was stuck because I was working these crazy hours and still not making any real money. And then I realized something. I was actually solving $10 problems. Just think about it. Cutting lawns, $20. Running errands, $15 problem. Appointment setting, $30 problem. Selling cheap gadgets, small money problem. And the biggest money isn't made by working harder. It's made by solving bigger problems. And the moment I stopped asking myself, how can I make money? And I started asking myself, what painful problem can I solve at scale? That's when everything changed for me. So I later built a digital marketing agency acquiring customers for e-commerce businesses, which I scaled to multiple 7 figures, because the problem was a lot more valuable to the client than cold calling and just setting appointments was. I was still marketing, but I was solving a high leverage problem, because most people never build real wealth because they're stuck chasing these trends instead of solving high value problems. And here's the kicker. You get paid based on proportion to the size of the problem that you actually solve. So if you're stuck making small money, it's probably because you're focused on solving small problems or low level problems. And the second you can shift to solving $10,000 problems instead of $10 problems, your income will also 10x overnight. But you don't need a revolutionary idea. All you need is a hungry market. So when I was 21 years old, I had this business where I would develop brands and sell them to mass retailers across the world, particularly in Australia. And I understood this one concept: the riches own the niches. Because when I was selling this product to the mass retailers, all the marketing I could afford is the shelf space, the packaging in the shelf space. I was getting the brands into the retailers, but I can't compete with Sony's budgets or Beats budgets. So when I went into the headphone industry, I chose to niche down as much as I could. I didn't just sell headphones. I didn't create just a headphone brand. I created a wireless headphone brand. And then I niched down again and I created a wireless sports headphone brand. And by niching down that much, I removed 90% of the competition, because when the consumers would walk through the store and they look at all the different headphones, and they saw one that was completely branded, the messaging, the design was all for sports and it was wireless, that enabled me to compete against the biggest guys. And that's what you need to do when you go from 0 to 1 million. You need to be niche. You need to be more specific with your actual product, because that's easy to dominate. And generalists normally stay broke when they go from 0 to 1 million because of this, because the value that I can add to the end customer or the end consumer when I niche down that much is so much more. So just think about that scenario again. The customer's walking in the store, sees all these headphones, and he's looking for a headphone that he could use at the gym. Whose headphone brand is he going to choose? Mine or Sony's, even though Sony is just a generic headphone brand that caters for all different aspects of life? No, he's going to choose the one that I developed, and that's how I won. And that's how you can win too, by niching down as much as you can so you can add as much value like I did to that customer that's looking for that exact same thing. And what I was also able to do is add a gym sports towel with every headphone sold to add more value to that customer that's looking to use headphones for the gym. I was able to add features like making it waterproof or water resistant, so when they're sweating it wouldn't damage the headphones. As you can see now, I could add so much more value to that customer looking for headphones to use at the gym than a generic brand that Sony could. Doesn't matter the size they were. So what I would advise you to do is pick a niche of at least 100,000 people, identify 3 pain points that they're having, and focus on solving one of them, and focus on adding as much value as possible. So now you will definitely want to utilize the fastest way to identify problems and come up with new business ideas, which is talking to real people. So there's so much value in actually getting to the ground level and speaking to people. You can join Facebook groups, you can join subreddits, different communities that instantly uncover these high value problems waiting to be solved. Because the biggest issue is just guessing what problems people have. And this never kind of works. And this is the biggest mistake, thinking that you know what people need instead of just asking them. So what I want to challenge you is to engage in your target audience today and find the most painful problem that these people have that they're actively searching for, and you can create a solution to. Once you've landed on a business idea, most people think you need to actually come up with a perfect product to make money, but this is a huge myth. So now you have your idea, you want to get proof of concept. You want to create a MVP, a minimum viable product, so you can go out and sell your product to the market and ask a price for it. So that is the only way you're going to know if you get any traction. And then once you get enough orders, then you can go full blown in creating a whole new brand or actually manufacturing the product, whatever it might be. But at the start, you need to validate it. I would try and sell my product to at least 100 customers and get proof of concept. You can then refund the customers later or tell them that you can deliver the product in 3 months' time and give them a discount if they're willing to wait. But the key here is just not waiting to launch, because waiting to launch equals wasting time. And most businesses fail because they spend months and months building this product that no one actually wants. So my advice to you is to pre-sell your idea before building. I don't care what you're doing. If it's e-commerce, I would still get samples of the product, do videos, do images, sell the product to 100 people, and then refund them later. If people won't pay you now, they won't pay you later. And not only will this strategy save you a lot of money, it will also save you a lot of time. But your ideas are actually worthless without execution. Everyone's got ideas, and you probably have 5 great ones right now. But here's the truth. Your ideas are worthless without actual execution. And we all know that one person that's had $1 million idea for like 5 years and keeps reminding us of it. And they're still talking, they're still planning, they're still waiting for that perfect moment that just never comes. But then they never actually pull the trigger because perfectionism, or maybe even overthinking, fear of judgment, all these things come into play. And these will kill more dreams than failure ever will. And some of my most successful businesses weren't based on genius ideas. They weren't revolutionary. They were just built through ruthless execution, rapid feedback, relentless iteration, just taking action over and over and over again while everyone else was just stuck in theory. Because the reality is, all the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And success doesn't come from the idea. It comes from your ability to actually bridge that gap from idea to execution like really fast. And you don't need $1 million idea. You need a discipline to show up and actually make progress daily. So here's what I challenge you to do. Stop waiting and stop perfecting. Start actually executing, because progressive improvements always beats delayed perfection. And look, I still don't know what I actually want to do, but I know I'm a lot richer and a lot smarter for not waiting and just working on something and building the skills and knowledge necessary to acquire more data and then give me a better indication of what I like, what I don't like, and what I can and can't do. Because the reality is, the more you know, the more options you have. So you're very likely to want to do something different 10 years from now. So whatever you pick now is probably the thing that you're not going to end up doing 10 years from now. So it doesn't really matter. Then when you've taken action and you've managed to sell to one person, it's so easy to sell to 1,000 more just like them. So many businesses today fail because they scatter their focus. Maybe they launch too many products. They try to market to too many different custom avatars instead of just perfecting one and scaling it up, because they create this level of complexity in their business. Like, imagine if you had 3 different avatars you want to sell based on 3 different angles, based on 3 different offers and 2 different marketing channels. Now that's a huge complexity scale that's attached to it. And you have limited resources in terms of you being able to execute on all of them. And in reality, you won't be able to execute on any of them efficiently. So that's why most people quit, because they increase the complexity scale of their marketing activities and their business. And they think they need to do this to get to 100K. But in reality, you just need to repeat what you're already doing at scale. So here's the roadmap to get to $1 million really fast. Choose one scalable offer to one avatar on one channel until you hit $1 million. It's as simple as that. And on your journey, you'll want to avoid these mistakes and you'll actually 10x your speed to $1 million. So early in my journey, I was doing literally everything wrong. I just jumped from idea to idea. At one stage, I had 13 different businesses at once. And starting one business, then chasing another opportunity 2 months later. That was kind of my pattern. A new niche, a new funnel, a new product. Every time something got a bit hard, I kind of slowed down and I reverted to what was comfortable. So guess what happened in the end? Nothing actually scaled. Nothing actually compounded. I was stuck in this like startup mode for years, burning time, money, energy. Here's the reality why most people never never admit. You don't fail because your idea sucked. You fail because you didn't stick with it long enough to make it actually great. And most people will switch strategies before they even master one. They move way too fast. They get bored. They mistake motion for actual progress. And that's why they never make real money. So if I could go back in time and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this. Pick one niche, solve one problem with one solution, and commit to it for a couple years. That's it. It's as simple as that. Just do it for a couple years. No distractions, no shiny objects. Just relentless focus on refinement. Because look, the truth is, money doesn't flow to the most talented people. It flows to the most consistent. And let me say that again to really drive that point home. It's not about being the smartest. It's not about having the best idea. It's about staying in the game long enough to master one thing and become the undeniable choice in your lane. And think of it like digging a well. You don't dig 1 foot deep in 5 different places and expect to get water. You pick a spot and you go deep. That's how you actually find gold. That's how you actually make real money. So it wasn't until I stopped bouncing around, going from one company to the next, one brand, one offer to the next, that things exploded. And that's when Cure scaled. I went from $0 to $50 million a year in just 3 years. That's when I started to build real momentum. That's when everything kind of clicked. So here is my challenge to you. Pick your lane. Get obsessed with your customer. Solve one problem better than everyone else. And don't pivot for at least 12 months, like no matter what. Forget perfection. Forget those like instant results. Play the long game. Because when you master this one thing, you earn the right to scale everything else. And the reason I'm telling you this is because these mistakes cost me years. Not only time, but my sanity. And they don't have to cost you the same. Avoid them. Stay focused. Go all in on that one thing, that one niche, that one avatar, that one problem, that one channel. And I promise you, your first million will come faster than you ever imagined. And that's my proven roadmap to make you $1 million in just 12 months. If you found this video useful, check out how I reset my mind to make $50 million next.